What's good, people? Samurai Lee back for another fight talk in association with CombatDocket.com. Last week, Dillian Whyte became the British heavyweight champion with a fight, a very, very good performance for me over Ian Lewison. I've seen a lot of people say he wasn't that impressive, and you know it took him to the 10th round to break. Listen, he broke Ian Lewison down. Why? If you're as good a boxer as Dillian Whyte evidently is, everyone used to think, including myself, Dillian was just a brawler and a banger. He's proved without a doubt he is much more than that. He can box to a game plan and intelligently. Okay, Ian Lewison, you know, if we're being honest and without being disrespectful, he's not a big world level name, and he's not as good as a lot of the guys that Dillian will now go on to fight. But Dillian boxed exceptionally well to a game plan, broke him down, smashed his face to pieces, broke his nose, and got the decision. Got a 10th round stoppage. You know, I thought it was a great performance myself, and I'm very pleased for Dillian. And he's the British heavyweight champion. Ricky Burns was also on the bill defending his title, his world championship against Relic. Ricky Burns, for me, you know, he took in the early portion of the fight, he took a bit of damage and lost a couple of the rounds, but I think the experience paid off, and in the mid to late rounds he stepped up the game, and he won the fight quite convincingly. Not as convincingly as some of the judges gave it. I think one gave it 118 to 110. That's 10 rounds to 2. Very, very, very generous. I scored it quite close, 7-5. I think I had it, or maybe, you know, 1 or 2 shared rounds in the middle. But I had Burns winning by a couple of rounds. But yeah, some of the judging was a bit crazy. This weekend is a big fight card in Liverpool. Tony Bellew making his first defence of his WBC Cruiserweight World title against BJ Flores. Perhaps BJ Flores isn't quite the big name that Bellew would have wanted. There was a few other guys they were touting about, but this is the fight that has now been made. Flores has been quite vocal about it in the past. He's also very close friends with David Haye, who Bellew wants to fight, as we know, so it sets up a grudge match in a way if he can get the victory. I think he does. I think he may get dropped. We know Bellew has been down quite a few times in the past, but we know he gets back up. One thing you cannot question about Tony Bellew is his heart and his desire and his will to win, and for me that's going to be enough. He'll wear BJ Flores down, I'd imagine, and I think he'll stop him mid-rounds. Also on the card, Derry Mathews and Luke Campbell in a great domestic fight. I really like this fight. It's going to be it's a first, maybe not first, it's a really good test for Luke Campbell to see where he's come from, and you know, his progression since he got his only career defeat, his only professional career defeat last December. He's gone on and had a good couple of victories since then, but this is another step up against Derry Mathews, who's got good, you know, great names on his card. Anthony Crolla, I think, on 2 occasions, a draw, and he even beat Anthony Crolla, I believe. So he's been around Derry Mathews, and he's a tough guy. He's fought Terry Flanagan as well. So if Luke Campbell can beat him, then it does a lot for him, and it gives him it propels him a little bit further onto world honours. I think Luke Campbell will get the job done inside. No, do you know what? No, I don't. I think Luke Campbell wins on points. Derry Mathews is too strong and too tough to be finished by Luke Campbell, I'd imagine. Having said that, Luke Campbell is technically brilliant, and if he can land a great combination and over again and dictate the fight at his pace, then there's no reason he couldn't finish Mathews late on. But I don't think it will. I think it will go the distance, and I think Campbell will win the fight on points. It's been a busy couple of weeks for me, non-stop, as I keep saying, you know, obviously working full-time, trying to get these interviews with these fighters. Had a great couple of interviews this week with Dean Richardson and Dan Keenan. They're Goodwin Promotions fighters, but they're fighting on George Grove's undercard in Wembley Arena in November, so check those videos out. I'm also waiting to find out if I'm going to be going tomorrow to it's this event here, the Rise of Champions MMA event, amateur and pro bouts on the card. Really good card. The promoter is Brad One Punch Pickett, a good friend of mine. Reece Jones is making his 3rd outing. He's a great young fighter. He's a great prospect coming up. Trust me, he'll be out soon. And this coming Sunday, my Fight Talk podcast that I run with James from Round 8, we've got Conor Benn, the Destroyer, coming onto our podcast Sunday evening, so be sure to check that out. Be sure to get onto Combat CombatDocket.com, and all of my socials: Fight Talk 1 on YouTube, Fight Talk 1 on Facebook, @Samurai Lee on Twitter. Thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I'll see you soon.